Hi, guys. You know, I had to come to the realization that at the end of the day, I have only God and myself. That's it. It is so hard for me to sit here and tell you guys my story, but I'm going to. All right. The day that I divorced my first husband, I wanted time to plan a wedding. I really wanted to get married in a church. This person that I ended up marrying demanded. Matter of fact, he began to behave like a kid. He had to have his way. He demanded that we marry that same day. So this is why I said in my earlier video that collectively I've been married for 46 years because I never had a chance to be divorced. Single. I married. As soon as I divorced, I was remarried. The light bulb should have gone off right then, but it didn't. I try to be very patient. I know that sometimes I do have a very strong personality. I am a Leo. I have no problem taking charge. I'm listening to this person that I married tell me that together we are going to build this perfect life. We were going to do travel. We were going to do all these things together. And we were going to put our money together, save money, because he knew that I was a saver. And life would be grand. Well, he told me what I wanted to hear. That wasn't true. Come to find out, the apartment that he lived in when I moved to the state where he lived, the rent was very reasonable. Matter of fact, I think it was like $625 a month. The problem was, it was in a place that typically I would not stay. Okay? My first day, let me see. No, the first week that I moved in, this happened on a Sunday night. Someone attempted to break into my vehicle. About a month later, twice it happened. Someone attempted to break inside the apartment. The apartment was on the ground floor. And I said to him, I can't live like this. This is not me. So I immediately started looking for a different place to live. I really wanted to buy a home because I'm used to living in a home. And he told me he just wasn't ready, because he was paying child support. So I said, okay, all right, I'll just look for a nice apartment home, which I did. I located a place. The rent at that time, so this was like around 1997. The rent was a little over $1,200 a month. Beautiful, gorgeous home. So if I tell him how much the rent is, he starts freaking out. Like, I can't afford that. And I won't even be able to sign for that. And I said, you won't be able to sign for it? What do you mean? He said, I thought I told you. One of my ex-wives, they messed my credit up. Excuse me? No, you never mentioned this. You didn't mention this at all, but no worries. I'll put it in my name, which I did. We went, after getting the apartment, I noticed he always would pay with cash, but we went to the store to purchase something, and I ended up pulling out because we didn't have debit cards. I pulled out my credit card because I didn't have cash on me. I pulled out my credit card and I like whenever I get paid, I'll just pay it off. So I asked him, I said, hey, it was some things that he wanted. I said, do you have your, I said, where is your credit card? And he was like, credit card? I can't afford a credit card. What do you mean you can't afford a credit? Well, one of my ex-wives messed my credit up. It was always somebody else. It was never him. Feeling bad for this man, I added his name to my credit card. And I said to him, listen, if you charge anything on the credit card, come payday, you need to pay it off in full. So if you go out, if you charge $100, $200, whatever it is, $500, you're going to have to pay it off, not in installments, but you're going to have to pay it off in full. He understood this. He was like, oh, yeah, okay. And he was very appreciative. Okay. First time, matter of fact, while we were there shopping, he charged about, $100, which his name wasn't on my card at that time, but I went ahead and I put it on my card. He did give me the $100. Okay. Meanwhile, I did order a card for him. Okay. The card comes, he goes shopping a lot at the PX, and he made a charge. I think it was like $250. It was under $300. So when the bill comes in, I let him know how much the bill is. I had made some charges, a few $100s, and I let him know what the amount was. He wrote me a check. He paid it off. Okay. The next time, the bill comes in, and I'm saying, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know I didn't charge that much. But anyway, the bill was almost $2,000. Okay. My portion was probably $900. So anyway, his total was over $1,000. Bottom line. I tell him, okay, I'm getting ready to write this bill off. Write the bill, the check out. Write the check out so I can send it in. I always pay my bills before the payment is due. That's what I do. Okay. So he goes, and he comes back with the check. He writes me a check. I always have him make it out, instead of making it out to me, just write it for, I think it was Capital One, and providing him with the account number, which he already had. But anyway, he wrote the account number. Just write that on the check. He comes back with the check, and he writes the check out for $25. And I said, what is this for? He says, I'm just going to make a payment on it. No, sir, you cannot do that. I told you I don't operate like that. Well, I can't afford to pay that. Okay, so if you can't afford to pay that, then why did you go out and charge over $1,000? Well, there were some things that I needed, okay? No, I said, okay, I tell you what. I handed the $25 check back to him. I said, don't even worry about it. He said, why not? I said, because I'm going to go ahead and pay it. But I'm putting you on notice. Do not attempt to use the card. I'm going to cancel it. Matter of fact, just hand me the card back. He refused. I said, no worries. I canceled the card. About 2 days later, he comes into the house. He comes into the house screaming. And I'm like, what's wrong? You know exactly what's wrong. I'm this, I'm that. You embarrassed me. How did I embarrass you? I wasn't with you. You embarrassed me. You canceled that card and you didn't even tell me. Yes, sir, I did tell you. Yes, sir. No, you didn't. I'm a liar. I'm this, I'm that. There's so much more. And I'm not going to be able to finish it. But there's so many more layers. So what I'm going to do is, I only have a few seconds left. I'll have to start another one. I will continue. Thank you. I'll be back.